Hello everyone, how are you doing?
Good morning.
Hello. So for those of you who know the tools of access consciousness, my name is Rachael O'Brien.
I'm Debi O'Brien.
And today we would like to invite you just to come on over and spend a couple of minutes with us. And we call this session wishes versus creating, wishing versus creating. So what I see with people is that they ask for something in their lives, but they wish for it, but actually you've got to take action to bring something into fruition. And it says, these are what we do. We usually do this on a Monday. We're doing it a bit later this week because I was away. So one of the things Access Consciousness is about is putting in place a new reality and creating your life, the life that you actually would like to have and like to live.
And specifically the future that you're looking to create.
Yeah, the future that you're looking to create. So I'm a joy business facilitator, and Debi is a real, we talk about connector, creator, mover. She's a real mover. She's a connector too, but essentially her energy is in moving projects. Okay. So the two questions that we always ask is, what would we like to have in the future? And then we look at basically what our vision is for the world, your vision for the world.
Yeah.
Tell people.
Well, to actually bring much more consciousness into business. Really, that's a big place I'm looking at, is how do I change how business is working as it is, and how can we make it be in the future, not only in kind of the access community that we sometimes create the separation, that I was creating a separation. Now I realize, what can we do to create seamless kind of flow of everything through business, and people that don't actually know the tools of access, how do we bring it in across there so that we build a different business community?
So when Debi says bringing in the tools of access consciousness, what she actually means is that business is done from empowerment, not force. That's the essence of what we're talking about here, that business is done from empowerment, the growth, the development, the becoming greater instead of force. And so that's Debi's vision.
And knowing, this is what struck me in the class I've been looking at to create myself, is unlocking for people what they know. So because you all know so much about your own businesses, and you do know things in business. So I know stuff through years and years of experience. Rachel knows things through her years of experience. And when you combine that and start unlocking and seeing what you know, how amazing will that be? And then realizing how much fun it can be. Because we really have fun, don't we?
We do,
have such fun doing this.
And what we're inviting you here to is, what do you know about business, not what the definition of business is. We're not talking about business as a definition. We're talking about, what would you like to grow? What would you like to build? So we meet and we work together, and our visions are very simple. My vision is that I would like a world to have more consciousness. What does that mean? Is it about how we function, be that with money, business, yourself. And also I grew up with a lot of lack. No one has to have a money problem, is my point of view. People just haven't been educated to actually go there and generate money, and anyone can do business. I know that because I thought I was stupid, and if I can do business, anyone can do business. And also that you can actually live a peaceful life. You can, and not peaceful, not dealing with what's in the world, I mean present with what is. Okay, so
I'm going to jump in there, because when I started working with Rach probably four months ago, what I started doing was implementing systems and things that worked for me. And I would just get this blank kind of face, and she was like, oh, that's not working. And I very soon learned how we can change things up and work according to what works for her, because everyone works so differently.
Everyone, and we've got to respect that.
And that's what it's about, absolutely.
Yeah.
So things that work for Rachel may not work for me, may not work for my hubby, may not work for other people. So this is about finding a different way to work together, which is so cool for me. It's been fantastic.
And about honouring. So what I would like to get you to look at today, if it's fun for you, is that so many people sit down and they'd say, oh, I'd like to have this much money, or I'd like to have a business where I facilitate consciousness into business, okay? But then they don't sit down and actually, and I say strategy, but it's more scoping. So say, for example, we're just going to show you this. So one of my big asks, what I'd like to be in the world, is a 3-day access body facilitator. 3-day body facilitator. And for me recently with COVID, the energy wasn't going into that, okay? It was going into more online stuff. But now the world is starting to open up again. So one of the things you got to look at is your energy going into that? Not like sitting there just going, my energy is going into it, because we live in a world that's based on action. So what Debbie does with me is, can you just walk them through? Stay here if you like for a while, because this is what we do and this is what's fun for us. So let's just say, yeah, you go.
So we start off by looking at, and we've picked 6 months. So you can pick 6 months, 3 months. You could do a month if you want, but a little bit more future makes you see things that gives you a bigger picture, or a year. And what we do is we've mapped out here everything that we want to achieve or get through and create within the next 6 months.
Yeah, and speak up so people can hear you, because the laptop audio is over here and we haven't got on a headset.
Cool. So this is where we've mapped out all the different things. We want 3-day body license. What do we want to do on the business side of things, money side of things? So we prioritize here what are the areas Rach wants to move in. And then taking those, we then start to map out our creation list. So again, this is moving from what we wish or we think about doing or we'd like to do to actually putting down the actions and how we're going to achieve that. So who do we need to speak to? Who do we need to connect with? Rach has got a little action list at the end of this, how we're going to theme it, where the graphic's going, who's going to help her drive it. So who's going to be sitting with her in the seat to partner with her on each of these projects and support her. And what is it that we need to do? So here are some fixed targets, but they're also, how do we break them down? So if we need 23 classes, 3 hours each over the next 6 months, how many do you need to do a month? So,
and I just want to add in here, one of the things that I don't do is I don't use time against me. So let's say I put in body classes, there's 62 to be facilitated. I have 39 done. I have 23 3-hour classes to go. I'm going to look to create 8 per month. Now, if I don't do 8 per month, that's not a problem. I don't ever make that a problem. I just trust that once I continue to choose it, that it will show up. But what we see people do is, like, say, one of my things in the world is that if we come over to the money, the guiding principles of all of this is consciousness. And consciousness is the process where you access everything in your life. Your consciousness will determine whether you struggle in frustration with money or you lead yourself to prosperity.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say we're taking the money, and I'd like everyone in the world to know that they can actually have ease with money, that they can have a relationship with ease with money. So then how we would strategy with that, let's say I'm a Joy business facilitator. We'll do an Access Business and Money class once a month.
Yeah.
So Debbie will write on our sheet, Access Business and Money once a month. And we're just going to pick this to bring it down to how we actually look at it. Immediately we look at, okay, what's the date for that? For me, immediately 30th of June pops. Okay, 30th of June, okay, 30th of June, have a date. How are we going to do it? It's a 1-day class where we like to do 3 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, boom, that's it. So we're probably going to do the 30th of June, 1st of July, 30 days has June, is it?
30 days, yeah.
Yeah. So 1st of July, 2nd of July, 30th of June, 1st of July, 2nd of July, okay? That's the 1-day class put in. Now, what's required for the class to get out there?
So we've got to look at connectors. Where will it be? Is it going to be online? We've had it up till now. Is it going to be an in-person class? Probably be online, I guess.
And the first thing we do is put it on the schedule.
Yes,
the first
on the schedule.
Put it on, we have a big schedule doc. Then we look at the graphic. Then we look at the team that we pull together. Are we going to do a landing page for it? How do people pay? How do they sign up? And these are all systems that we've put in place.
Yeah,
now.
and let all the so then we set up our channel. The channel.
We set up a channel. By that
people.
we mean on WhatsApp. Our Telegram, we're inclined to use Telegram, and we set that up, and then away it goes. And there's a continuous. A lot of people don't like growth, and in Access we talk about generators to start. Change is generate, change, and growth. So if I'm a bit of a freak in that, for me, the minute that this class goes up, it's like a baby. So
baby's birth.
So we have a joke. We have like a little ting, new baby is born, and we go ding, 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 ding. Okay. So new baby is born. Who's going to mind the baby? And then within our team, there's Ida, Debbie, Liz,
Ariane.
and me, of course. So then
Queen
we look
bees,
at Queen
remember?
Bees. We call ourselves the Queen Bees because we're always buzzing and creating and contributing to each other, and we know what our long-term vision is.
Yeah.
Okay, so we always come back to the vision, and then we come back to what's going to work. So one of the Queen Bees, Mama's the project. We call her the Mama Queen Bee. These are things that we do that's fun for us. And then the project gets led. We use the connector, creator, mover. And then a connector is someone who gets it out in the world. They want to tell all their friends.
Promoters, really.
Yeah, promoters, really. And it's inviting people to the class, inviting people to know they have more choice with money, and that they can actually, if they hate their job, they can leave it and work for themselves, that there is something greater available. So we just were, like today we were in the office and I said, hey Debs, let's show people like what our generation process is, what our creation process is. And I find that if we don't do this, that I've ADD and
She gets really cranky.
yeah, I actually do get cranky. And the thing
And
that,
that's all cranky.
yeah,
For 10 seconds.
yeah. Well, it's so funny because the thing that makes me cranky is that if I don't put in place what I'd like my tomorrow to be, it shows up in a way I don't want it to be.
Yeah.
And for me, one of the things that makes me super happy is facilitating these classes. So if I'm sitting there and there's a week that's not mapped out and there's no classes in July, I'm like, what? So there is a presence in this, in that what I would like my tomorrow to be, not only for me and the world.
And this is big futures, but literally every day we are speaking to each of the classes, aren't we?
Yeah.
So every day, if there's a class coming up, or class that's in creation, or class that's just still, out here but not yet actually into a channel, we keep talking to that class. What is required here? What energy is required today? What do we need to do to change yourself, shift the energy, create more? Are there people to add? What do we add? So that's a daily commitment to creating.
To me, to you,
yeah,
to what we'd like our world to be, to what we'd like our future to be. So I just got actually from this conversation, I'd like to invite you all to a wishing versus create session, wishing versus creation, because this is creation, this is generation, and myself and Debbie will hold the call. Maybe we'll put it up in a couple of weeks. If this has been a contribution to you, one thing that I would like to say to you is that 8 years ago, I chose to go to an Access Consciousness bars class. And what has come into my life in 8 years, I didn't ever imagine, number one, I'd be in business because I was shit at business. Okay. And number two, that I'd be working with people that are actually brilliant, like better than me in areas. Debbie's way better than me in some areas. She is, So it's like, ask, like, what are you asking for and what are you not asking for? Because for me, I had nothing to lose. I had a life that didn't work for me, and now I actually have a life that works for me. And really look at what are the things that, if you're out there waiting for the money to come, that's not the way it works. Business from Access Consciousness, from Joy Business, Simone Millis says, I love you. And we're so grateful for you. Oh, absolutely.
Business.
Joy Business. Business for me is about the change that we can create in the world. And once and I can only talk about Rachael O'Brien, once I'm creating what I love to do, okay, once I'm actually have the vision of what I would like my life to be like and what I can do to create that life, once I'm committed to that and constantly present with it, everything in my life works. And that's not to say that I don't get distracted. I do. And then I look at where's my energy going all the time. So we hope this contributed to you on Tuesday morning. Please don't. Wednesday. There we go. I don't even know what day it is. That's how come I have to have a schedule, because I don't know what day it is. So yeah, Joy Business. Check out accessjoybusiness.com. And the prevailing energy in all of this is, when you're willing to know what you know, when you're willing to perceive what you perceive, when you're willing to be you, and when you're willing to know, when you're willing to receive that there's always more. For me, I function from there is no loss and lack, there's always more. And I know there's always more. That's just the way it is.
And having fun. Wow.
Having
There's not a
fun.
day that we don't. All of this is continually having fun, and if it's not fun for us, we just actually drop it off, don't we? We let it go. We do let it go.
I'm the type of person I'd kill it if it's not fun. It's just
sort of
just gone. It goes away. It disappears, and we just go, let's ditch that. It's not fun. Yeah. So Access Joy Business, check it out. And your life is your business. Your business is your life. You are in the business of living, and for me, if I'm not creating or if I'm not growing, oh, you do not want to be around me.
That's it. Say, if you're not living, you're dying, aren't you?
Yeah. If you're not living,
you are dying.
See you soon, folks. Have a beautiful day.
Bye.
Bye.